have been saying that you have been telling him in the YouTube chat. But before we get into all of that, I have to talk about my friends at Pachanga Resort Casino, and you can play a perfect combination at Pachanga Resort Casino, the official Native American resort and casino of the Los Angeles Lakers. Skip the traffic. Head on over to Pachanga Resort Casino just off the I-15 in Temecula. Visit pachanga.com or call 888-PACHANGA for reservations and for more information. So, you guys in the YouTube chat apparently have been having some words for my guy in the back, my guy Tim. I'm going to bring Tim on early on Lakers Talk Daily because he's going to explain to me what you guys have been telling him this morning. Tim, what has been going on this morning with you and the YouTube chat, man?
So I'm in the YouTube chat this morning, and they're getting to know me. They're welcoming me to the team at this point, and they asked me if we've gone one on the court.
One-on-one on the basketball court.
Absolutely. Now, keep in mind they don't know us. They haven't seen me before till today, so I'll give them a break. But I want to set the record clear right now. It's not happening. Not going to be a competition. Not going to be something we consider. I don't take L's like that, and that's going to be a guaranteed L. I'm not even going to pretend.
Look, so did this start because of your Cowboys fandom? Is that the reason why this whole thing started?
Everybody loves to hate on America's team.
Oh, look, man, we're not gonna. Why are you doing that, man?
Because Eagles are endangered species for a reason. Just keep that in mind.
See, that's why I wanted to bring Tim on, because I want you guys to know we have some differences. We have some differences in regards to his Cowboys and my Eagles fandom. But I want you guys to know in the YouTube chat, you guys asking him that if me and him are going to play one-on-one, or I should be playing him on one-on-one, I'm letting you guys know we're going to set the record straight and we're going to end this. Me and Tim will never play one-on-one because Tim is not ready for that smoke. And that's no disrespect to Tim.
Hey, I know the battles I can win. I know the ones I can't. Hey, on the court is just not me. That's not my lane. I ain't gonna lie.
All right, Tim. Appreciate you hopping on real quick. So to get back into tonight's game against the Minnesota Timberwolves, and I know you guys, we've seen what the duo of Austin Reeves and Luka Doncic look like against that win against the New York Knicks. And by the way, real quick, just to give you guys a little bit of what has been going on. I seen what Trevor Lane has said. And Trevor Lane put out a tweet that Luka Doncic, the NBA has announced that they have fined Luka Doncic. And just to give you guys a brief detail on that is that the Los Angeles Lakers forward guard Luka Doncic has been fined $50,000 for directing an inappropriate and unprofessional gesture toward a game official. The incident occurred with 4 minutes and 35 seconds remaining in the third quarter of the Lakers' 110-97 victory over the New York Knicks. So I wanted to give you guys that because we are understanding that Luka Doncic has 15 technical fouls this season. He has 15 technical fouls. Sorry, 15 technical fouls this season. And if he does get one more, he will be suspended for a game. And with this stretch of these games for the Lakers cannot afford Luka Doncic to miss any of those games. I know if you want to say he misses the Chicago Bulls game, so be it. But the Lakers can't afford him to miss the Nuggets game. They can't afford him to miss the back-to-back Houston Rockets game. They can't afford him to miss a game against the Detroit Pistons. Remember, their schedule, it gets only more difficult for the Lakers. So just to throw that out there for you guys, that Luka Doncic was fined $50,000. And I kind of find that hilarious because if that incident was that egregious to the point where they had to give him a fine, it only makes me laugh because they could have probably gave him a technical foul, but it just goes to show you that NBA is better when Luka Doncic is on the basketball court for the Los Angeles Lakers. So you guys and everyone has been saying this has been going an ongoing thing in regards to the trio of LeBron, Luka, and Austin Reeves. And LeBron James should be going to the bench. And LeBron James needs to embrace that role of coming off the bench because the duo of Austin Reeves and Luka Doncic have been playing well. Is there some truth to that? Yes, there is. Is there going to be a moment where you are going to need LeBron James on the basketball court? Yes, there is some truth to that. And everyone has that same question is that you have three stars, three guys you consider the big three. And why does it not work? Now, I want to get really in depth with this. And I want you guys to know if you agree with me or not, because we can be in a disagreement, is that when LeBron James, Luka Doncic, and Austin Reeves are on the basketball court, you have similarities into what they do. They all three of them need the basketball in their hands. Can we agree on that? All three of them like to do what? They like to play make. They like to create for others. Can we agree on that? One guy in LeBron James, he does well moving without the basketball. But as his age started to increase, we start to see him try to develop that three-point ball and be more of a spot-up guy. Is there moments where he does do a great cut to the basket? He does. Is that often? It's not as often as we would like it to be. So then that creates what? It creates a stagnant offense. Meaning, Luka Doncic, there are situations. If he does not get the necessary switch, or if the play breaks down, we settle for a Luka Doncic one-on-one situation. Does that work? Yes, at times. Does it work often? It does not work often because the frustration starts to come out is why is there not enough player movement? Why is there not enough ball movement? Then you get to, as far as Austin Reeves, how come he doesn't move well without the basketball? How come we don't see him cut more? Well, why is that? It's because what is Austin Reeves' bread and butter? Pick and roll game, one-on-one situation. They like to get the mismatch. He likes to exploit the mismatch. When he gets to the basket, he's looking to get fouled, head to the free throw line. And if he's not getting to the free throw line, he is trying to do what? Create opportunities for others. So you have three of those type of guys on the basketball court. And let alone all three of them are not good defenders. LeBron James, at this point of his career, we can't count on him to be the Lakers' best defender. That's why you acquired Marcus Smart. That's why you got a guy like him to exert every single one of his energy and effort on that end of the basketball court. If Marcus Smart is doing good things offensively, meaning knocking down the open three-point ball, then that is a bonus for the Lakers. But they signed him to be that point of attack defender. That guy is going to bring a different type of intensity on that end of the basketball court. So to really put this in perspective and why it does not work, you can look at all the other big threes that LeBron James has played with. You can look at the Miami Heat. The reason why it worked is because why? LeBron James was able to create and play make, but they had a guy in Chris Bosh who was able to space the floor out. He was able to get in the pick and roll game. He can roll to the basket. He can pick and pop. You have a guy like Dwayne Wade. Flash. What is he known for? He likes to get out and run. He is a guy that likes to cut to the basket. He not necessarily needs the ball in his hands to be effective offensively. He was also a pretty good damn defender. Dwayne Wade was a good defender. Chris Bosh was a solid defender. Why do you think that worked? Because they weren't similarities. Every single one of them had a different type of game to them. That is why it worked with that Miami Heat big three. And they were able to play in different styles, get out and run. You want to bring up the Cleveland Cavaliers. It worked with him and Kyrie Irving. Because Kyrie Irving, just like Luka Doncic, can create his own shot off the dribble. But he didn't need the ball in his hands to be effective. He can be a spot-up guy, be ready to catch and shoot. But you look what they're able to do around LeBron James in that time. And I know I'm getting on a tangent, but I'm giving you guys this in-depth breakdown because there's reasons to why it does not work right now with this current Lakers team. Why the big three does not work. And the reasons why you guys have been saying that Luka and Austin Reeves need to be on the court together without LeBron James. So to finish off the Cleveland Cavaliers, and I remember LeBron James' age difference is different than that time to what it is now. All right? It worked with that big three team because they had a spotter shooter in J.R. Smith. You had a spotter shooter in Iman Shumpert. You had a guy in Matthew Dellavedova who was a hard-nosed defender but was able to catch and shoot. Then you had a rim protector. At the time, it was Mozgov. The pieces around him made sense because there was not that many similarities on the basketball court, correct? So that's why the Lakers, and everyone wants to go back into why it does not work, there's too many similarities on the basketball court. And for you guys to answer, because you wonder, why doesn't JJ Redick tell or make the necessary adjustment to putting LeBron James on the bench? Why can't he do that? One, LeBron James in a scenario of him coming off the bench is not likely. Honestly, it's not going to happen. And you guys can say it's an ego thing. You guys can say it's a pride thing. You guys can say it's because of LeBron James's legacy. It's not going to happen. Now, JJ Redick, I felt like, has responded to that. He does see the numbers. He does see how Luka Doncic and AR work together on the basketball court with LeBron James. He also sees that LeBron James does work when he's with the second unit, when he's with the Jake LaRavia or Rui Hachimura, or he's with a Marcus Smart, and then he's with Jackson Hayes. It works in that fashion when Luka Doncic and Austin Reeves off the bench because LeBron James is able to do what? Be creative, get into the driving lanes. He's able to kick out. That's why you see it work. I believe JJ Redick has answered to your guys' questions and to why do we need to see them on the basketball court together. And why don't we see more of Luka Doncic and Austin Reeves? Him staggering their minutes, I'm telling you guys right now, I do believe that is JJ Redick's answers to your guys' question. Now, if that's going to be our product that's going to work for this rest of the season, probably not, because Lakers still have flaws on one end of the court specifically, and that is defense, defense, defense. They don't play consistently for 48 minutes with high energy and high effort. They were able to do that against the New York Knicks. And could it be because they were able to play in a different style with LeBron James on the basketball court? Probably so. But I'm here to tell you guys, and you guys, I promise you might not like to hear this answer. When it comes to a playoff time and it comes to a certain situation, you're probably going to need LeBron James on the basketball court. Whether you guys like to hear that, whether you guys like to hear that, or whether you guys do not like to hear that. And the reason why I say you probably will need LeBron James on the basketball court when it comes to a crunch time situation, or a situation to where matchups and how that works, or him able to read something and make a counter into what the defense is showing, or offensively or defensively, him being able to communicate, be vocal. That is where LeBron James is going to be important if the Lakers are going to try to make a playoff push. Because we have to look at these standings. If the Lakers beat the Minnesota Timberwolves tonight, all of a sudden we're looking at them being in the 3 seed. A 3 seed. After all the things that we have been saying and how bad this team looks and how bad they can't beat better opponents and stuff like that. They're legit still in the mix, which is really, really mind-blowing. But to finalize and answer your guys' question is that it's not going to work as far as with them probably on the basketball court together, but JJ Redick staggering their minutes, putting Austin Reeves, Luka on the court with Marcus Smart, you throw in Rui Hachimura, and either it's Jackson Hayes or DeAndre Ayton, it works. Or you put LeBron James with that secondary unit, LeBron, maybe Rui, Luke Kennard, Jake LaRavia, Jackson Hayes, it works. There's moments we see it looks good. The moment it sees it does not look good. But it is going to be matchups. And we always get into that scenario. It's going to be matchup dependent. So I don't know if I answer you guys' questions into why it does not work with the three of them on the basketball court together. I think I answered your guys' question into will we see LeBron James not be with that duo of Luka and Austin Reeves so they can still create their bread and butter and they can still create a lot what they do well offensively? I get it. It looked really good against the New York Knicks because you don't have a guy like LeBron James on the court who necessarily is game not being a spotter shooter. So all of a sudden defenses are allowed to do what? Do this in the paint. That's where I am getting at. And I'm going to read a couple of stuff off the YouTube chat before we take a little break, is that Brian in the YouTube chat says, too much ego for Bron to come off the bench. And could that be a possibility? Yes, most likely that is. It's a pride. It's an ego thing. LeBron James does not see himself ever coming off the bench. Now, one more to read this off, and I believe this is PC. PC says, asking LeBron to come off the bench for Reeves is hilarious. Once again, we're just trying to find situations and scenarios with the way this current Lakers team is constructed to play to the best of their possibilities to play the best out of what they have to the best of their abilities. Because JJ Redick said it himself, when the three of them on the basketball court together, they're trying to do what? They're trying to please one another. LeBron's trying to make sure Luka gets his looks. Luka's trying to make sure LeBron gets his looks. And then Luka's also trying to make sure Austin Reeves gets his looks. Instead of working and trying to find the offense and figuring out how you can have real movement and real player movement, real ball movement, instead of doing the same thing. Pick and roll. Let's get a roll. If it doesn't work, we get a mismatch. Go one-on-one. When the Lakers run actual sets and plays, it works. But it's not consistent enough. And the consistency is what this team lacks for a full 48 minutes. Now, tonight's going to be a real test. We'll talk about that. Also, there's some news in regards to Austin Reeves and which team can be potentially interested in his market this offseason. And also, you guys in the YouTube chat have been going off as far as who your guys' top 5 players in this NBA season is. I'm going to give you guys my list. I'm going to give you guys a chance to react to it. But before we do any of that, I have to let my partners at Pachanga give you guys a quick word.
At Pachanga Resort Casino, you can rock and roll, sip and slide, twist and shout. Play your perfect combination at Pachanga Resort Casino, official Indian gaming sponsor of the Lakers.
By the way, I see Greg Bergman in the chat saying, when you get here, D, need to hear your thoughts on Nakobe Dean. And I'm going to just let you know right now, Greg Bergman, if you're still in there in the YouTube chat, is that the Eagles were not going to be able to pay him and pay Jalen Carter and pay a lot of their other young guys as far as in their secondary. So as far as Nakobe Dean leaving to your gutless Las Vegas Raiders team, good for Nakobe Dean. He is going to make a good impact as far as the Raiders defense, but as far as the Raiders being a team that can make some noise, it is not going to happen. The Raiders they're still going to be the Raiders, no matter how much salary cap space that they have. I just want to throw that out there real quick. But the Lakers are taking on the Minnesota Timberwolves. And once again, everyone's been saying, well, the Lakers beat the Timberwolves 2 times early this season. And I have to sit there and remind you guys that as the course of the NBA season goes on, teams figure out. They figure out what they're good at. They figure out what they're not good at. They figure out their scouting report. Every single one of those things gets adjusted as soon as the season goes on. Now, the Timberwolves team, how they started off and to how they are now, them being 40-24, their season has turned around real quick. Anthony Edwards has been playing better basketball as of late this season. And the one thing that I keep on wrapping my head around, and you guys have the same in the YouTube chat, is that the Timberwolves, what they did in the playoffs last year when they beat the Lakers 4-1, is that they were able to expose a lot of their guys, the Lakers guys, Luka Doncic and Austin Reeves, and we're being brutally honest. Mismatch, let's go one-on-one, let's make Austin Reeves guard. Mismatch, let's go one-on-one, let's make Luka Doncic guard. They're going to come in with that same type of style. They're going to come in and put in that same type of emphasis. They're going to be doing the same thing. They're going to try to get the mismatch. They're going to try to go one-on-one. They're going to make those two guard. And then you throw LeBron James on the basketball court if he is to play. He is a game-time decision. They're going to go at LeBron James as well. I know. Is there a scenario where the Lakers could end up beating the Minnesota Timberwolves tonight? Yes, that is a real possibility. But we gotta understand that when they came in that series against the Timberwolves, what were we all saying in the YouTube, everywhere on our station? Lakers in 5. Lakers in 5. And the Timberwolves heard that, they responded to that, and they exploited the Lakers. And Lakers had no answer to what the Minnesota Timberwolves were able to do. Now, is there a scenario where the Lakers offense is rolling and the Timberwolves shoot bad like the New York Knicks did? They did not shoot the ball well. Yes. But with the way the Timberwolves play and their physicality and their style, and they have a lot of size on their team as well, it's going to be another test. Is DeAndre Ayton going to be engaged like he was against the New York Knicks game? He gave good energy and effort. Is he going to carry that over into a game tonight where they have size and Rudy Gobert? Rudy Gobert, who literally won a game for them in that series. Julius Randle, a guy who's going to play hard, who's going to be able to match that energy with Julius Randle. This is going to be a game where, once again, we go back to what? Full 48 minutes of basketball. Jay in the YouTube chat, I see you. TWolves scouting report, attack Austin Reeves. That is going to be the case. So if you're the Lakers, and if you don't give that same energy and effort like you did on the New York Knicks game and carry that over to tonight, then we're going to go back to the same type of narrative. Same type of narrative. Can the Lakers beat the better opponents, especially in the Western Conference? Their schedule is only going to get more difficult. But we should be excited for this game tonight because, once again, the Lakers have a chance to climb to the 3 seed. So enough with tonight's game against the Minnesota Timberwolves. I saw a tweet in regards to Austin Reeves because my favorite in the YouTube, my guy Peter always has been really, really skeptical on Austin Reeves. And I just want to throw this out there that there has been reports per Eric Pincus that the Utah Jazz are interested in potentially getting Austin Reeves this offseason. Now, we've seen what the Utah Jazz were able to do before the trade deadline, getting Jaren Jackson Jr., pairing him alongside Lauri Markkanen, Walker Kessler. They got a rising young guy in Keontae George. Could they potentially be in the market for Austin Reeves? Yes, they probably will be. Now it's going to be that decision making in regards to, are the Lakers, depending on if the Utah Jazz were to offer Austin Reeves a contract and see if they were to pay him $35 to $40 million a year. Is that something the Lakers are going to try to match? Is that something Lakers are going to be willing to match? Because I'm telling you guys right now, the Utah Jazz are not going to be the only team that is going to be interested in Austin Reeves. There's going to be a lot of other teams in the market for him. Now, the question is whether or not Austin Reeves does want to return to Laker, he's going to be in the market because he believes his value is high, especially how he was playing early on this season. He's having an all-star season. So he believes his value is going to be really high. And I know you guys have been real critical in regards to Austin Reeves, in regards to the Lakers extending, giving it a contract extension, and him and keeping a duo with him and Luka Doncic. Is that something that the Lakers can build off of? And is that the formula for them to be championship level contending teams going forward for the foreseeable future and building the right pieces around them? Because that's the narrative this season, is that Lakers don't have the right pieces around Luka Doncic to be successful. Luka Doncic can't lead this team the way as long as LeBron James is off this team. As far as what we know, the possibility is LeBron James is probably not be in a Lakers uniform. Who knows? But if that's the case, Luka Doncic can start to take the reins and start to take that necessary step into being a leader. Now, if Utah Jazz are going to try to get Austin Reeves and Lakers are unwilling to do that, then it gives more of a reason to keep on building what? The necessary pieces and put that Dallas Mavericks 2.0 model that we heard earlier last week and carry that over into the Los Angeles Lakers. I just don't know. I don't see the real scenario paying Austin Reeves $45 million, depending on who the other pieces around them are going to be. Because you can't afford to have two guys who can't defend at a high level on a night in and night out basis. Two guys that can score the hell out of the basketball, but if they have a lot of deficiencies on the defensive end of the basketball court, that is only going to hurt if, once again, you do not build the necessary pieces around them. And I see you guys in the YouTube chat saying, perfect, sign and trade Reeves for Walker Kessler, let him walk. You guys are really, really in this notion of not really giving Austin Reeves a contract extension, even though he has been playing relatively good basketball. We praise him in the duo of Luka Doncic and Austin Reeves, which has looked good. So why are you guys switching up in regards to let him walk and don't pay him that money? It's crazy. It is actually really, really crazy that you guys are starting to go with that stance. It is mind-blowing to me because it's not like he's playing really bad basketball. He's having one of the most efficient seasons as far as his scoring. I know there's certain nights where he struggles. There's certain nights he doesn't really fill up the stat sheet necessarily offensively. But I get it. You guys are saying a one-way player for $45 million makes no sense. Is that a possibility? Yeah, it could be. That's a lot of money to pay someone who doesn't really defend at a high level. Well, remember, He does a lot of things great offensively. And you can still keep that Dallas Mavericks 2.0 model. And you could possibly have some success. That is why what we're seeing with the small sample size of the duo of Luka and Austin Reeves is that enough to constantly build the right team and then be an actual championship level contending team. So now to do another transition, because I appreciate you guys tuning in to Lakers Talk Daily. I see you guys as far as these past couple of days, last week, you guys have been reading off and listing off your guys' top 5 players in the NBA. And I want to give you guys mine because I feel like that's a very, very interesting topic that we can have a fun little interaction with. And to start off, my number one, I'm going to straight up tell you guys right now, it's got to be Victor Wembanyama. He is a game wrecker. He makes a lot of difference on the basketball court. His ability to change the trajectory of shots on the defensive end of the basketball court. He's averaging 3 blocks per game. He's also averaging 11 rebounds per game. And of course, he's in the 25 ranges as far as point average. He has only been elevating his basketball game. He's able to space out and shoot the 3 ball at a consistent rate. He's also able to take guys off the dribble. There is not much you can do to try to guard Wemby. You can try to contain him. You live with them shooting 3 balls. But as far as who's going to be my number one, I got to go with him being my number one. Now, as far as number 2, and I just look at as far as a statistical aspect of it, I got to put Luka Doncic at my number 2. He's a leading scorer in today's NBA. He's also averaging about 8 assists. And then I know he doesn't really do much defensively, but he still impacts winnings in ways. And Lakers would not be in this season. They would not be in as far as the tops in the 6th seed or a 5 seed, or even in the mix of being a top 3 seed in the Western Conference without Luka Doncic on the basketball court. And I know you guys probably not like hearing that because he does not do a lot of things well defensively. And I feel like for an MVP award, you got to have some sort of energy and effort on that end of the basketball court. But Luka Doncic, as far as what he is and a generational talent and what he has done this season, 30 points is not something that you can just pass by. He's my number 2. And then my number 3, which you guys probably, again, be in disagreement with. And I got to go. And I understand you guys probably would think it's SGA because of his numbers and what he has done. He just came off a game winner last night. I'm actually going to go with Anthony Edwards. Anthony Edwards has been playing better basketball in the second half of the season. He is averaging about 29 points per game. I feel like he does a lot of good things also defensively. He's one of the guys who exerts some energy on that end of the basketball court. So Anthony Edwards is going to be my number 3. Then I'm going to put SGA. And then my number 5, which you guys probably won't like, I got to put Kawhi Leonard. Kawhi Leonard is having an incredible season, a season that does not really get talked about. Without him, the Clippers would not be 32-32. Kawhi Leonard is doing a lot of things right. Knowing without James Harden, knowing without Ivica Zubac, he's still finding ways to be a dominant basketball player. Kawhi Leonard averaging, you see it right there, 27 points, averaging about 6 rebounds, 3 assists. I know he's got a couple steals that he's averaging. I know you guys are probably like, what the hell is this list? What is going on? This is not good. But Kawhi Leonard is having a hell of a season. I'm telling you guys right now. So to read you guys off and seeing what you guys have been putting is that, let me read a couple off. Brian in the YouTube chat is Joker, SGA, Ant, Wemby, Jaylen Brown, Cade, and then Luka 7th. Damn, you're putting Luka Doncic all the way at the 7th, Brian? Whew. You think you got Cade Cunningham before Luka Doncic? Wow. Even you got Jaylen Brown in front of him. And I get it. Jaylen Brown's having a hell of a season as well. Without him, everyone thought the Boston Celtics were going to have a gap year. And then Jason Tatum comes back, and all of a sudden the Boston Celtics are a top 2 seed in the Eastern Conference. So that is a very, very good one. As far as Joker, SGA, and Wemby, there's no arguing that. Now, to read another one off is that you guys, Dodgers for life. It's Wemby, Joker, SGA, and then Jaylen Brown. Yes, Brian, number 2 guy that doesn't play defense. Yes, because look at the numbers that he is doing as far as 32 points, averaging 8 rebounds, averaging 8 assists. That is not something that we can just look over. I get it. You got to be able to defend. But you put Cade Cunningham over Luka Doncic. I get it. Cade Cunningham, he's having a good season as well. This is a list. It's all interchangeable. You can kind of go in and go back and forth. I get it. It's a good little debate. And look, Dodgers flag. Not a Clippers player. Once again, Kawhi Leonard is having a hell of a season. You got to be able to acknowledge that. You have to. But time has come to an end. The Lakers are taking on the Minnesota Timberwolves. You guys are on fire, and you guys are not liking me putting Luka Doncic at number 2. Now, we can continue this on as the next couple of days progress. But for myself and my guy Tim in the my guy Tim in the social team, Lakers are taking on the Minnesota Timberwolves. This is a big game. A win. If the Lakers get a win, all of a sudden we can see them falling into the number 3 seed. This is another game where we can see if the Lakers can beat another opponent, a better opponent when it comes record-wise. But I will be talking to you guys tomorrow. We will be reacting to this game. Hopefully the Lakers come out with a W. But I will be talking to you guys tomorrow. We out.